Ladies, gents, good evening from Europe. For you, it might be good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Piotr here. We are going to make the crypto update for Light Forex Global YouTube channel. So you are more than welcome to join me here. We are going to discuss Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple XRP. So without further delay, let's start our show right here, right now. Alright, so we have a Bitcoin right here, right now, and the thing is that that's the weekly chart, and I think that's not gonna be a huge mistake if we are going to announce that finally we hit the levels above 10k. We are discussing if we are going to go above 9,800, then the next level is closer to 10,300, right? And that's gonna be the key psychological level from the Bitcoin bulls perspective. Why? Because in my opinion, we might recognize some kind of the consolidation here, right? Especially when it comes to that particular week at the very beginning of September 2019, right? And what we have here, the blue line on this weekly chart, that's the 50% of that zone, right? So we can say we hit that possible supply. We have a little bit of the pullback. Now the question is if it's going the pullback only or something bigger. Well, if you remember and if you watch one of my weekly videos, the summary of the week, the video without the charts, only, with me in the background, then you know that I do think that we might see a little bit higher, or maybe without a little bit higher, but we might see the higher levels. Now, the way of my thinking is that comparison we did in 2019 when we were trying to compare the Litecoin chart ahead of the halving, and then I've been trying to translate that into what we have when it comes to the Bitcoin. So I've been talking that the late October, then maybe November, that's gonna be some kind of the dip of the pullback, and with the expectations towards the halving, okay, we are going to see the higher levels. So that was the long-term view or mid-term view, if you wish, right? It was completely different from the intraday perspective, and looks like I was quite correct. Now, I still believe that the bulls didn't say the last word, meaning that I think we are going to see the higher levels either right before the halving or after. Then I would expect a little bit bigger correction, right? Am I going to be right or wrong? I don't know, but easily we are going to be able to check based on this video. Now, going back to the current price action, okay? So we have to take into the way of my thinking, right? We have to take into the consideration few things. We have to take into the consideration this price action when we hit the new low, all right? We have to take into the consideration this pullback, okay? And we have to take into the consideration what we have right here, right now. Okay, so basically, I think that we haven't seen this type of the pullback, all right? that big, because the one here was much shorter. It was very similar to what we have here, right? So let me put that in the circle for you, here and here. All right, so now let me change the color. Let me change the color a bit. Okay, let's make it green. So now what I'm looking for this type of the pullback over here. Why? Because we are going to hit this demand. What is all about with this demand here? Okay, what is all about with this demand here? Now Riley, maybe different way. Riley pullback, which was similar to the pullback we've seen here. Riley, right? Do you remember our webinars? Do you remember our educational live trading rooms? That's one of the formation, Riley based Riley, right? Well, so now I do expect this type of the pullback, which could bring us where? To our Riley base. Riley does the demand on that base, right? So if you are trying to buy hardly right here, right now, I would be very careful. I'm not saying we are not going to jump straight from here, okay? What I'm saying, based on the chart only, based on what we've seen in the past, okay? What kind of the pullback we might see, and in that case, based on my chart, I would rather prepare myself to buy between 8,700, 8,300, right? It might be based on the spike down with the lower shadow. It might be of the small and slow move to the downside. Whatever we are going to get, okay, that's what we have to be aware of. Also, guys, let me change the color again. Look, this type of the pullback here is going to correspond with the retest of this China news rally, right? So we were discussing that this type of the move above, right, it was very positive, right? Then we saw the rally out of this level. So we have to get some kind of the retest. We have to check if the real demand is here. Okay? Again, I'm not saying we are not gonna rally straight from here. What I'm saying, from the risk-reward perspective, it's going to be better for you if you are a little bit more patient than others. Am I right? I have no clue. Why? Because I can't move the market. As simply as that. Because I cannot move the market, I can't tell you that it's going to happen for sure. What I'm telling you is that from 8,700, 8,300, you are going to have better risk reward, because your first target is going to be retest of the 10,200, right? Hopefully you got my point here. Okay? So trying to summarize the things. We are right here, right now. We have some kind of the bounce, right? And my way of thinking is that we have a little bit or much stronger demand, a little bit lower. So we invite some uninformed buyers right here, right now. We are going to make stronger pullback, so we are going to scare these buyers. And if my way of thinking is correct, our first target is going to be current high, and the next one around 14,000. Okay, hopefully that's clear for you guys. I'm going to get back with the Ethereum and Ripple update soon. I thought that we are going to be able to discuss it here, but as you can see, Bitcoin was taking over here, especially from the bulls perspective. So I'm going to make the second part of that video either later today or over the course of the day tomorrow. I'm talking about the Tuesday 11th of February. Guys, don't be trapped. Take care and see you around.